Welcome back to Game 2 of the Scrim TV Dota exhibition. We had an almost complete swap out of heroes with this newest game here. Only one hero reduces the parity here with the Ursa coming in again. And we have a Treant on Spectre. We have Jakiro with Boomyi. Mid-Morphling with Endofdiscussion, as well as Eeyore playing the Tidehunter and Joseph Stalin on the Windrunner. On the side of Dire, we have Cash Money on the Ursa, the one hero to make it to the second game, with some similarity here. Ogre Magi played by Sky, Void Spirit on Dr.Wombs, as well as Hansoloeater on the Weaver. Last but not least, Nevermore on the most fun pick of all Dota time, Pudge. We'll see if we can get some sick hooks, some pulls, some rune pulls, some ding-dang all meat hook sandwiches going on here. Who knows? Anyway, they all move to their respective stations for this rune contention here. We'll see what happens. It looks like a pretty docile. Nobody's making and jockeying for position quite yet here, but that usually changes as time goes on. I've heard legends of this Weaver play, so we'll see if I am bedazzled by his skill in no time here. Looks like Spectre and Jakiro asserting their dominance here. Pudge looking for a hook, brings in the Spectre, but Jakiro still nets themselves the bounty rune here. Dr.Wombs throws out the Remnant, but to no avail. Looks like Jakiro's they're gonna Delta split, and Jakiro takes the top side of the river stairs there, as well as Spectre returning to safety. A little vision over here for the Dire side to make sure that they can keep eyes on the rune as they need to here. Endofdiscussion beginning his last hitting barrage alongside Hansoloeater, who we're going to watch huck some bugs as we go along this game. In the top lane here, some early aggression from Joseph Stalin and Eeyore as they put some hit and some hurt onto Sky on the Ogre Magi, who's going to eat that tree to make sure that he has a clear lane into the Dire side jungle, to maybe throw on a little harass with some ignite and other flame-related spells. A pinch on Joseph Stalin as he takes a club or two here from the Ogre Magi. An ignite comes out and he's going to get shackled here. He's in a little bit of trouble here. Sky's going to run away as Cash Money continues to last hit and flip his way into a little bit of extra gold. A salve coming up on Sky to keep in lane, and we'll see how this lane transpires here. In the mid lane here, Weaver taking a little bit of control, asserting his dominance in the mid lane. Going to put a little pressure on the tower here. He's going to throw a bug. Does not get the last hit, but that's a-okay early on in this game here. I always hate last hitting under tower. It's the absolute pits, if you ask me. Jakiro, Ice and Fire, throwing that along onto Dr.Wombs and Nevermore, who has to salve up here to maintain his lane presence on Nevermore. Spectre does have a 5 last hits. Looks like Radiant does have a little bit of an edge on the last hit front here, as Treant Protractor is making a very aggressive play to get a last hit there, but he does take a fireball, or Pudge takes a fireball rather, from the Jakiro here. Boomyi. We do miss the top lane first blood, as is tradition on Scrim TV Dota. You never can catch the first blood if you're not watching exclusively one lane for too long here. Ursa with the first blood, very similar to game 1. So he jumps out to a little bit of an early gold lead, even though the Radiant have the early advantage on gold overall. Looks like Ogre Magi is going to go for a pull over here. Sky does his best to keep the lane equilibrium up to snuff. He's going to see if he can make sure that the Ursa has room to farm a little more safely, so instead of hanging behind the river over there. He's going to go ahead and deny that range creep and get a little gold for himself in this lane here. Weaver moving back into the Radiant side of the river. He has his Ring of Health. Looks like he's going for Perseverance here. Maybe a early Lincoln's on that Weaver, as is tradition with a lot of Weaver players here. So hard to bring him down if you don't have not only disables, but many in a row to make sure that you can ping that Lincoln Sphere and then still lock him down afterwards. The lane has been pushed from Radiant's side over to the Dire tower here. Looks like Void Spirit is going to move into the jungle here, see if he can interrupt this pull, and he does just that. Pulls those creeps back, so that is going to maintain a nice position for the Dire side. Dr.Wombs does take a bit of damage here, but he's going to walk away clean with whatever spell that is. The Resonant Pulse, I believe. Pudge just wandering around with that Dipsy-Doo toy Pudge aesthetic that he has now that just came out. It's a lot of fun, as is tradition from Dota. They have so many cosmetics and they're all good. Specifically the Capri Sun Witch Doctor. Gotta love it. Morphling very low on health here. He did Agi morph into a very heavy Agi morph here, so he doesn't have a whole lot of health. A couple more hits. Endofdiscussion might be in a little bit of trouble. He does equal it back out a little bit, make sure that he is a little safer on the HP front. But Hansoloeater is not taking any chances, and he's going to keep harassing, making sure that Morphling does not feel confident to farm safely with such low health. So we're going to get a couple of denies out of the Weaver here, and we'll see how that lane perspires as we go here. So Weaver walks out, Shikuchi's out. Ursa's still having kind of his way in this lane here. Tidehunter and Windrunner having a bit of a time dealing with not only Ursa damage, but they look like they're going to get an Ursa kill here. If he doesn't make it out, the wand charges come out. He's going to walk away. Yep, clean. He's going to make it out. Salves up, come back in the lane, get a last hit. Everything is good to go for the Ursa here. Eeyore making some plays. He's going to gush onto the Ursa here, but that will give Ursa the chance to jump back in. Misses the shackle on the Ursa. He's going to have to stay behind tower. Meanwhile, it looks like if Ogre has one more spell, it looks like he has a Fire Blast coming up here. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. It is. Okay. So they do get the Tidehunter here as he tries to run back. A Wind Run out, and it looks like Windrunner will be safe as well. Or safe instead of faring the same fate as the Tidehunter. Ogre Magi going to try to get a pull out here. He eats a tree. He's going to try to catch these creeps, and I don't believe that he will before those creeps reach the wave. He does grab one. Okay. Not a lot of regen left. Oh, he does have a ton of tangos here, but he's going to have to be careful. He is rather low here. He's going to move to that Bounty Rune, but the Tidehunter does get it before him. A Gush comes out. A Pudge is very, very low here. We'll see if they have enough damage to bring him down. He does tango up, so he's going to walk away clean after the Spectral Dagger, as Spectre does take control of that lane a little more here. Ogre Magi does go down. Looks like they interrupted his pull and pushed him back behind lane, but not before he died there. So a couple of Fury Swipes onto Windrunner as Ursa maintains his lane presence. A few wand charges, and he's keeping up with the last hits over here, despite the double melee lane. That's another thing that I always enjoy, or I don't enjoy rather. If I am trying to support on a melee support, it is just the dickens trying to maintain that lane presence for your carry. They do get a pull off on the Radiant side here, so they are going to pull that lane back under their tower here. Ursa's in pretty deep trouble here. He does wand up before that power shot comes out, so he's going to live. He's going to live to tell the tale. He got his mask, his Morbid mask up, so he might be able to move into the jungle and regen some of his health here. Just got to be careful that they don't rotate. Back in the mid lane, Morphling is still at about 1/3 of his health here. He's morphed very heavy in the Agi department. The Perseverance is up on Weaver here, and he has not taken any bugs, and he did not take his ult with that 6th level there, so we'll see what his plan is for that. Morphling is significantly in the lead on last hits here. With that big Agi boost, he's able to basically last hit at will, as long as he's careful once that Weaver starts to harass and Shikuchi around him and things. We got pings coming out on the Spectre here. I wonder if they're going to try to make some moves here. Looks like the Void Spear wants to do something, and it looks like they're going on the Jakiro here. A hook blocked by the Spectre, so their main target was missed, but it looks like Spectre might be in some deep trouble here. They do get the Pudge before anything else. Nope, it's actually going to be fully in favor of the Radiant here. Big kills for Spectre early on. It's going to be a nice accelerant to his farm. He's near his treads here. He does have that Wraith Band and full wand up here. A Haste Rune comes out onto the Morphling, so he is going to basically be an absolute Spitfire on the map. He might move. It looks like he's going to stick in the lane here. He's having a real good time last hitting here. Weaver asserting his dominance with the quick Shikuchi. Joseph Stalin moving the lane back up again. Ursa just within spitting distance of that level 6. And once that comes out, I wonder if they'll make a move on either Windrunner or the Tidehunter here. And Ignite comes out onto the Windrunner as well as a stun, and he's going to Windrun out, but the body blocks come out from Sky, trying to keep the Windrunner in the danger zone, but they are not successful. So back to the last hits for Ursa. He does get level 6, Ogre at level 4, and we'll see if they're able to do what they need to. It looks like we had a Tide rotate mid, but without any stun on that, besides the Morphling stun. Really hard to bring down a Weaver this early in the game here. We did have a Pudge go down in the bot lane here. It looks like Spectre and Jakiro are having a pretty nice time, which you don't often see with a Spectre lane this early in the game. But you know, what can you say? It's an exhibition. There is no meta. There is no meta in these kinds of games. You play what you know. It's like writing a book. Dr.Wombs hitting in the jungle, doing what he can to strike fear into the heart of the Spectre, throwing some purple magic on him. Morphling reaches out and grabs a very needed regen rune, so that'll be a very nice boost to his health here as he's able to agi almost fully down to a full damage build while he's regenning at that point. He does get, what does he end up getting? The shovel? Trusty shovel. Extra 100 health. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt on that morph. You love that extra health. We do have some lifesteal on the morph as well as 700 health on the Weaver here, so we'll see what happens here. Looks like Void Spirit was making some moves onto Jakiro here in the bot lane. Pudge also doing what he can to stick in the lane and get a few last hits as he can. But that Spectre is pulling out a little earlier than they would like. He's got 2 Wraith Bands and he's finishing his treads here. He did lose his Courier in one of those team fights here. Dr.Wombs moving in on the on Treant Protractor here. He throws out a Remnant, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to capitalize on any of that. A lot of action in the top lane. Looks like Ursa and Ogre and the Tidehunter are going down. A Courier might also be along with it, but he safely navigates his way through the trees and he will not go down. Ursa running down that Windrunner who does have to Windrun their way out of danger. And the Ursa is moving towards, what does he have on his Courier there? Nothing? Yo Ursa, what's on your Courier?
Gold for me.
Oh, he's just flying him. Duh. Tidehunter throws a gush out, a little water. Gotta stay hydrated if you're a bear, you know, a lot of running around the jungle, you don't want to get too hot. Spectre jumps in with an ultimate, and they are going to probably bring down this, I don't know. Okay, there's the slow, there's the power shot, the Ursa goes down. Pudge TP's in a little too late here, and he doesn't get shackled, but there comes the Ravage, and that's a 2 for none. Nice rotation by Spectre, who is now looking at an 0-4 build. Suppose you like to get the kills, but sometimes it just doesn't pan out that way. Spectre's going to stick in lane here, grab a few last hits as Windrunner is going, or Windranger rather, is going to make moves out to maybe grab a bounty rune and also meet the Courier there. Ogre Magi is moving back into the lane here. He does spot the Tidehunter, throws an ignite out, and the Ursa rolls back into the lane, and we might see a Spectral Dagger here as a slow comes out, so he will not be able to pursue any further, but he is going to just sit back, lifesteal, grab some gold while you got it. Why not? Hansoloeater sitting in the mid lane here against that Morphling. It's a tough lane. It's a tough lane. Morphling is another one of those annoying heroes that just when you think you've got him, it's just hopeless. He'll just morph back into a full strength build, and then what do you do? Throwing eggs at an omelet. So the Shikuchis come out, Hansoloeater staying safe. He does take a lot of damage there. He's just about done, but he is going to make his way back into, grab one last hit, wand up, and Shikuchi back out one more time. Grab a regen rune. Wow, what luck on that. Very nice. He's going to be able to come right back into lane and feel very confident about that. What excellent RNG on the side of the Dire. Joseph Stalin, Boomyi taking the bot lane now. They have Swip Swap, the Spectre, and the Windranger. So now Pudge up against a couple of ranged baddies. We'll see how that goes. I haven't seen Void Spirit down here for a little bit here. Looks like he swapped mid, maybe trying to give a little support to that Weaver there, make sure that he's able to confidently farm that mid lane. And you never know, maybe they'll end up getting a kill. The shovel, what is the shovel's active? Dig. Oh, you can find a bounty rune. Oh, that's a fun little thing. You can dig for stuff. We're all learning today. This is just a little Dota tutorial. That's all this is. Between that and the action-packed team fight of the Dire and Radiant teams. Spectre TP's out. It looked like he was getting pinched by an Ogre and an Ursa, and that is nowhere that a Spectre wants to be. You don't want to be caught in the middle of that business. Ogre's going to move towards the bounty runes here. Looks like there's another couple of minutes here before those spawn, and they're going to pressure this lane a little bit, maybe get a couple of hits on this top tower here. Morphling and Weaver still just back and forth. Morphling rather, is almost at 100 last hit, so he's having a good old time. He's got his drum, he's got lifesteal, he's got full treads, as well as a mango tree. So he's going to be sending that back to his neutral stash here in no time. An ultimate comes out on the Spectre here. They're going to go onto the Pudge. Wind Ranger as well, going to throw out some damage on Dr.Wombs on that Void Spirit, and they both are going to go down here. A late TP from Weaver is not going to net into much in the way of death for the Radiant side, but they will net a Courier here, and we'll see. He does not have his time lapse any longer, so he's going to have to make it out. It doesn't look like he will, with the Jakiro ult coming out. A lot of damage that Weaver just can't avoid. It's a lot of heroes, and maybe didn't realize just how done that fight was before he TP'd in there. Ursa going to go ahead and try to pin and flank this Tidehunter, but really Tidehunter is, again, one of those heroes with this Kraken Shell passive. Really hard to bring down. Can neutralize those slows pretty easily. A big flip, and he's going to chase him down into the tower, but to no avail here as the Morphling storms in, and it looks like they're going to go on the Ursa now. He might get himself a stun here. Makes a Ursa illusion. They're going to chase him through the jungle. We'll see if we can get an Ursa kill, but he flips up onto the high ground, and they're going to disengage here. So he does have help coming in. It looks like the Void Spirit coming in here, so we'll see if they try to re-engage with an Ogre Magi coming in also in the jungle. Meanwhile, the Spectre does have a lot of space to move on his farm. He picked up the Broom Handle, so he gets that extra damage, that extra armor, which is always nice early on in the game here. Level 9, yeah, the Radiant side is looking pretty darn spiffy with a 4K lead. The last hits are in favor of Morphling, who's absolutely on fire in that department. Wind Ranger and Tidehunter chasing down Dr.Wombs, who gets the Radiant side. Oh, he makes it out. He ults out, and here comes an Ursa, and an Ogre, rather. So it's going to be a bit of an even fight here, but the Power Shot and the Shackle comes out, and Ursa's going to have to lifesteal his way back into this fight. The Bounty Rune, or right over the Bounty Rune there, they get a Wind Ranger and a Tidehunter. They're going to try to chase down. Nope, they're going to disengage on the Jakiro here. They don't have anything else that they need. Ursa basically at no health and managed to stay in that fight and grab a couple of kills in the meantime. So very astute and good game sense on the side of Ursa and the Dire team there with that team fight. We do lose. We do have a what do you call it? A Fortify come out on the Radiant side here, making sure that Weaver doesn't take that that mid tower there. And he has caught himself right back up here, so he's still a few last hits out, but he's getting together his. Oh yeah, he's got 3K gold. He's going to Shikuchi out, and he's going to be just fine. He's almost on his way to his Lincolns. I think he's just about there. Let's see, what do we got? What do we need for gold here? Lincoln Sphere. Oh yeah, he's got it. He's just got to make it to the secret shop here. So Spectre gonna run away back into the jungle here, and once he gets a couple of these items, he's got enough damage. He's got that drums for a little more stability and HP and sturdiness, so he's able to more freely farm some of those jungle camps. And I don't know that he saw this Weaver come in here, so we'll see if that Weaver is going to make moves. He's going to take down his Courier. That's unfortunate. That is not what you want to see. If your Spectre bringing out your Agility Blade here, that extra armor would do the trick against this Weaver here, but it is not going to be the case. He just doesn't get it for another couple of minutes. They drop a Sentry Ward just to be sure that Weaver can't be seen if he's going to Shikuchi out of danger. He moves on to the Spectre here, who Spectral Daggers, and he does a little dipsy-do on his way around the Weaver. And it looks like they are just going to go ahead and pressure this tower here as the Morphling moves in, along with a couple of heroes. This is a 4-on-3 at this point between Morphling and Spectre. So we'll see if they do any more in the way of a team fight here. Looks like Ogre is going to move top here. Tidehunter's making moves onto the Ogre Magi, who just TP'd in. Throws an Ignite out to stem the bleeding. They're not going to worry about a team fight here. Eeyore goes mid. He's going to go ahead and see about maybe an Ancient stack. Maybe he's going to try to get that Blink Dagger up here. He's going to go Vlad's first. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Blink is so 2017. Ugh. Only a 3K lead now, slowly but surely. The Dire side is doing their best to try to farm their way back into this game. Not that they were that far out. Only a 4K deficit, but still, you don't want to get too far behind, especially if a Spectre gets an early lead. That's big money right there. That's that Ursa doing his good work to get that early Aegis. Give them the advantage in those early team fights as well. We got Ursa pinging out the Tidehunter there. Looks like they had some vision on him, and they want to maybe keep an eye on him for any team fight woes here. There's no support here. Maybe they're pinging him out so that this Wind Ranger is just definitely alone here, and they may not realize that there's an Ursa. There's a big old bear about to jump on that Windrunner, and they got to be careful here. But they do have support TP in here. They got Endofdiscussion and Boomyi coming in on the Jakiro and the Morphling, and the Spectre also coming in. That burns the Aegis. So now we got a 5-on-2, and Void Spirit is GTFOing. He wants no part of that. Oh boy, so Dire's just going to let them TP in. They're going to give that kill up on the Ursa and lose the Aegis, but it does mean that they have some control over the other lanes here. So Weaver's going to go ahead and pick up his... Oh, he's going Radiance. Never mind, I stand corrected. He's going to go Radiance instead of that Lincoln's. Lincoln's is probably going to come later then if that's still the build on him. Might not be. Pudge is going to rot a few things. He's going to hook a few things. In comes the Ogre Magi, but also the Windrunner. So it's a 2-on-2 even battle here. The Power Shot and the Shackle comes out onto the Pudge, and a Wind Run plus attacks. That's going to spell doom for Ogre Magi. Now we got Tidehunter rolling in. They're going to push hard on this bottom lane here now that they have cleared it out of all the pesky heroes. Void Spirit wandering around the jungle here, looking for his next move, as well as the Radiant side. Endofdiscussion and Boomyi farming the Dire jungle at a pretty free rate here. Looks like we're going with the E-Blade coming up. He's only about 1,000 gold away from that, so once that's up, it's going to be absolute Splosion City for the Radiant team here. Cash Money farming out that top lane, bringing it back towards the Radiant side as best as he can. Meanwhile, Dr.Wombs grabbing a jungle camp or two here, but they are making moves. Endofdiscussion and Boomyi, an Arcane Rune coming up on top of it, so Dr.Wombs is in deep trouble with a Windrunner coming in. This might be doom if he can't quite make it out of here. The Shackle does miss the actual pinning move. He's going to try to get that Bounty Rune, make his way out of here. Let's see if he has one more jump. Yep, he's got his ultimate here. He's got a charge there. He didn't have anywhere to go, and it looks like he's going to die anyway. But that's a lot of space for, well, no one. That's kind of... That's kind of the way you go. I looked over in this bottom lane, and it's a Pudge doing his best. Maybe a Spectre death here. If they can get a Spectre death, that'd be huge. But unfortunately, the Morphling has moved into the bottom lane and thus exploded that Weaver. Alright, 5k lead for the Radiant side. So they are slowly mounting their lead, even though the Dire are making very concerted efforts to keep this game as even as possible. And we'll see. You never can tell. A very elusive Weaver here, so if he gets some more mobility, some more, you know, the Lincoln Sphere and other things like that, if he can make sure that he is uncatchable. They really don't have the assured lockdown that you would like for a Weaver. You know, the Ogre Magi with that point target stun is always nice for a Weaver. And it looks like they're going to go on this Windrunner here. They've slowed her down. Hopefully, well... Yep, they've got eyes on her now, so that is going to be a dead Windrunner, and we do have a Pudge ulting that Jakiro, so that's 2 kills for the side of Dire. And they are going to see if they can take advantage of that and maybe push this lane with Endofdiscussion and Eeyore, trying their best to temper the expectations of the Dire push here. A Spectre all comes in, they're making moves here. Let's see if they can, yep. Tidehunter melts, and it looks like the Spectre may be going down as well, but Endofdiscussion is back in the fight here. It is a 5-on-2 now, and the Spectre is going down, and Endofdiscussion doing some good work here. He's going to go ahead and shift and kill the Ursa here, but he is taking a ton of damage. He's taunted now. Here it comes. He's melting at this point, and he doesn't have a whole lot left. The Dismember coming out, holding down that Morphling, and that is a 5-for-1 swing, almost a 3k swing on that team fight here. Let's just take a look here. Look at that XP change. Unbelievable. That is exactly what they needed. They're back down. It's basically almost a neutral game at this point. They're back down to minute 0. Only a 1k lead for Radiant at this point. Dr.Wombs and Ogre are going to clean up a jungle camp or two, and it's going to look like they're going to try and do some damage to this tier 2. Maybe, if they're lucky, they'll be able to take it before Spectre and Morphling get back up again. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. That Radiant Burn doing some work here. Jakiro moves a little bit too close, and it looks like the Weaver is going to do his due diligence and kill that Jakiro, but a Shackle Shot comes in, and the Weaver is going to go down here. The Spectre has come back up again, a Tidehunter back in the fray. Ogre Magi going to Bloodlust the Pudge and move him out of there with that extra move speed, and Ignite comes out, seeing who he can slow down. We'll see what other damage is consumed by the Radiant team. Looks like Morphling is TPing into that outpost, and it could mean an absolute devastation if he's able to waveform that way. Yes, Dr.Wombs not able to get onto the high ground with that ultimate, and he dies. Pudge also going to go down here with the Shackle Shot, and the E-Blade is out in full force, and he is a Splody boy. Ursa casually farming this top lane, doing anything he can to get a little more map control for the Dire team here. You want any of these towers done. They got a couple of these. They got the tier 1 mid and bot. They're going to look and see if they can lock down that tier 1 mid, top as well. Maintain some map control here so that Ursa can feel confident with the next Roshan, which is up in just a few minutes here. I believe that's like 9? I think it's about 9 minutes from the original Rosh. Ursa is in trouble here, though. He is getting pinched by the Windrunner, who tried to get a Shackle Shot down. The Fire Blast comes out from the Jakiro. They're waiting for that. Oh, Ursa tries to flip into the Rosh pit to no avail. Unfortunately, he does turn on that ult, but it runs out just in time for Radiant to secure that kill. Double damage on Weaver, along with Ogre Magi and Dr.Wombs moving into this fight here. Looks like a Remnant coming out that's going to fear and slow that Windrunner, who is then stunned. An ultimate from Spectre comes out, and he throws a Spectral Dagger and dealing a ton of damage now on Dr.Wombs, who does TP out, and it looks like he is going to die. Nope, he taunts the Spectre, and now Spectre is in a little bit of a trouble here. He daggers out, and he's able to recover. It's a very spread out team fight. Hard to watch it all. Lose 3 on the side of Dire here. Oh no, they lost the Ursa earlier, and they lost 2 to 1 on the side of Dire. So, not a ton of gold change. Again, this is a pretty even game here still thus far in favor of Radiant by only 3k on 25 minutes into this game. The bounty runes come out. Spectre grabs one. Jakiro grabs one. Looks like it's a 2 and 2 on the bounty runes here for both teams. Morphling doing, again, just farming like an absolute machine. Tidehunter got his Ravage back online here, so we'll see if they are moving into a team fight. I don't know that they know that all four of the 5 Dire heroes are in the vicinity here. They are going to see that Tidehunter. Are they going to turn on him? No. It looks like Ursa's Shadow Bladed up, and he's going to move towards that Weaver, or rather the Morphling. And now they've both hugged like a bunch of grapes, so now the Tidehunter's going to go down. He almost casts his ult. Does not actually submit the Ravage there. Hook from Pudge misses, and it looks like now Spectre has TP'd in. Windrunner's there, Morphling is there, Jakiro is there, so now we're on a 4-on-5 here. However, Boomyi does get caught out by the Void Spirit. He throws an Ice Path out, hoping to preserve himself. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to go down to a Fire Blast and a Void Spirit. Hansoloeater just limps away with that busted Weaver leg, and he is going to try a kill on the Windrunner here, while he time-lapses out. Ah, very good. Time-lapse out just in time before that E-Blade came out, and it looks like Weaver is going to walk away, busted legs and all. His limpy boy legs. Yeah, they're clawing their way back. This was not that big of a deficit, but now he's got that Octarine Orb, and he's got his Radiance up. Perseverance. Yeah, he just doesn't need boots. Who needs boots? Weaver's not a fashionable boy. He's also got 6 legs to fill with boots, so it's just a good economic decision on the part of Weaver there. An Invis rune, luckily caught by the Spectre here. Who knows if he gets stunned by the Ogre? You never know what's going to happen with a Weaver with a double damage. Oh no, he doesn't have double damage yet. He did have a double damage. Ogre going to go and looks like he was going to meet Ursa.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
What luck. Found the telescope there. Great for a little additional cast range, I believe, or attack range on any hero here. I imagine that might go onto the Windrunner or something along those lines. Morphling and Jakiro moving through the Radiant Jungle. Spectre up top here. Slow moving game. It's one of those where you got a lot of late game heroes coming in here, specifically on the side of Radiant here. They want to keep this game as slow as possible. Spectre getting his farm. He's got his Manta up now, moving into the Abyssal Blade. And really, once he gets a couple of those items up, he is going to be very hard to deal with. Morphling TPing towards that outpost there. He looks like he's going to try to help out that Tidehunter, but it is a little late. He is not going to be able to save that Tidehunter, who still has his Ravage here, so we'll see what happens. But Void Spirit is absolutely deleted by the Morphling with that E-Blade, as Spectre's in hot pursuit of Pudge. Seeing if they can capitalize on that Morphling TP on the Spectre ulti here. They get a Shackle on the Pudge. That's going to be a very, very dead Pudge here. The E-Blade comes out. Boom. Down goes Pudge. Weaver making moves on Joseph Stalin here, seeing if he can grab a kill here. Ursa comes in. He's going to do his best to be a flippy boy and knock some sense into this Radiant team. But in the meantime, Pudge does go down, as well as Boomyi on the side of Radiant and Windrunner on the side of Radiant. So we got a 2 for 2 on that exchange for that team fight. It's still not over yet, and we'll see if they are able to... Oh, nope. They do not have the stun needed to cancel the TP, so unfortunately they will not grab the Spectre kill. Tide does come back in, though, and he does not have his Blink yet. Looks like he's going for Greaves. He's opting for the Greaves instead of the Blink Dagger. We got E-Blade and Lincoln Sphere out on the Morphling. Again, these heroes are just impossible to kill once they get some of these items up here, so we'll see how they're able to deal with that Morphling late in the game without a ton of point target stuff to actually to lock him down with and actually break that Lincoln's. They're going to have to rely on maybe an Ignite, or they're going to have to rely on the Fire Blast to break that Lincoln's, and then maybe lock him down with the Dismember, and hopefully they're able to burst him in that time. There's 3 seconds that they have Dismember here. Ursa moving towards that Roche Pit. The Spectral Dagger does not catch... They wasn't even looking for him, so he wasn't anticipating a need for that Spectral Dagger in the Roche Pit, but it's going down quick. If he doesn't give it away, there's the power shot. It's revealed that he's in there. This is going to be a very dead Ursa here. A waveform in. He gets Force Staffed out, and the Shackle does hit, so it's going to be a dead... Nope, he's going to walk away. And in comes the Weaver. Nope, he does. He ends up dying. It looks like a waveform and an E-Blade. Finishes off the Ursa. That's that lockdown on the Morphling that they needed. Are they able to finish him off? It's not looking like they will. That Lincoln Sphere is just about back up again. And he is just healing through all of it. This is the most maddening thing to watch, is watching a Morphling be able to just walk away from 3 heroes, including Ursa and others. Yep, that's frustrating. That's the kind of rage quit Dota that we need around here. Spectre moving in on the Weaver here. They have vision on him, and they do use the Ravage to neutralize that Shikuchi, and he is saved by a big Pudge hook. So Shikuchi away. It looks like he's going to be safe. He's going to grab a Bounty Rune for good measure, just to add insult to injury for the Radiant side here. Yeah, he can't get me. And I found 90 gold for everyone I know. Morphling on a last hit clinic over here. End of discussion, doing everything he can to find all the last hits. He loves the letters L and H together, and thus he is performing very well in the last hit department here. Unfortunately, on the other side of that coin, though, you see that the Weaver has actually surpassed him in net worth, which is what I should have been checking in the first place. And actually it looks like Dire has taken a 1k, 2k lead now over the Radiant side. So they're entering a bit of that power curve there, where like Spectre has the advantage towards the 50-minute mark here. They have a nice bump right at 30 minutes as the Weaver is bringing up some items here. He's got the MKB, he's got the Octarine Core, he's got the Radiance here causing that mischance. So that's all going to do good work for the next 20 minutes here. Looks like we have a smoke out on just Ogre. It looks like he missed Pudge, unless Pudge broke the smoke. So we'll see what happens. Ursa's by himself, pushing this lane down here. He might be able to take this down pretty darn quick if they don't have any TPs. It looks like Tide is moving towards bot lane here. We'll see if they react at all. They do have a fortify, so they got about 6 seconds to make moves. It looks like they're just going to let this drop here. So we'll see. Oh, and we got a kill mid. Should have known. Big cluster of heroes. There was a team fight going on. An E-Blade comes out. The Pudge is going to look like minced meat here as he gets bashed, and he is down for the count. 2 heroes down. They do take the tower, but they lose 2 big heroes, the Weaver and the Pudge, as they are in pursuit of the Ogre Magi as well. End of discussion. Treant Protractor, Boomyi, all making moves towards the mid-tier 2 tower here. Joseph Stalin making sure to pressure this Ogre Magi and pinch him into a fight that he doesn't want to be in. Rod of Atos, Shackle Shot, Roots, Ursa coming in. This is a very, very dead Ogre Magi, and Ursa doesn't have a whole lot that he can do to actually neutralize that. He is going to try his best to get down that Jakiro, that Boomyi, but he is going to get stunned. Oh, the Shackle Shot, the Abyssal Blade, the kills. Heartbreaking. And a Morphling taking that Aegis and the cheese. That is an unkillable monstrosity of a Morphling that is also going to be joined by an unkillable monstrosity of a Spectre here very shortly. Dr.Wombs doing his best to neutralize that push on the mid lane here, but he's got to be careful. That Morphling is right there looking for his Splody boy. Eeyore making moves through the Radiant jungle here, as Windrunner is also going to join End of Discussion mid. Boomyi and Jakiro is going to make a run through the jungle, along with Spectre, who's clearing out those jungle camps, looking to finish off his Abyssal Blade here. He's just got 2 more pieces, and he'll be able to also stun with that active ability. As these heroes come back up again, Void Spirit throws a Remnant on top of that stone column there to see if there's any vision. Pudge taking down some ancient camps. Morphling does retake the lead on the net worth. This has been back and forth. It's all been right around even on the net worth chart here. The most lead I saw was about 5k for Radiant, and Dire has brought it back to even here. It looks like Hansoloeater is absolutely flash farming and making good work of a lot of these jungle camps at this point. Morphling has a devastating last hit lead, but that doesn't mean a hill of beans if all the money is still going into Weaver's pocket here as he runs through the jungle, clearing out those camps. We do have some artwork on the map, as they are pointing out. Void Spirit drew on the map to indicate that Boomyi, Morphling, and Tidehunter are here. So I'm wondering if they're going to make a move onto the Windrunner. Looks like he's going to try to wrap on him, but it looks like they had eyes on him, and they will not be able to. Oh, he's going to go ahead and take down one of those sentry wards. Windrunner's smart enough to get out of there before too much is going to develop. We got pings coming out. The Spectre is in a bit of trouble here. That is an Ursa who's going to bring him down. He mantas out of that slow there, but it looks like it's a very dead Spectre, and that is a lot of gold for Ursa. A 720 gold payout. So he is going to use that. He's going to sock it away, earn a little interest, maybe a dividend or two, but we all know he's going to buy some big, strong weapon to do some damage. End of Discussion chasing down Dr.Wombs on the Void Spirit. He ults himself into safety, and End of Discussion is just going to back out. Jakiro drops the ultimate on the creeps, and he's just going to keep that lane as pushed as possible. End of Discussion making moves in that top lane, or the high ground there. He's going to move in, and Dr.Wombs ults out, and it looks like they're going to slow the Morphling, Yules him up, and in comes Eeyore with a slow. He doesn't have Ravage for another 40 seconds, but they're just trying to position themselves in a way that they're able to do a lot of damage to this tower. End of Discussion. Very heavily Agi morphed at this point, and he's able to. He's got that Linken's, he's got the E-Blade. Down goes Ogre Magi. That E-Blade just totally deletes heroes at this point. He is an absolute monster. The stun comes out, very short stun, but a stun nonetheless, and they're going to take this tier 2 tower. 4 heroes on the side of Dire going down very quickly here, so this is going to mean probably a Rax with only a buyback on the Ogre Magi. 5k lead is going to turn into a lot more here in a second with 2 carts and a big, strong Morphling hitting, throwing water balls at people. You never would know it, but that erosion on towers is intensified by those Morphling water balls. Range racks going first. They're going to take down the melee racks and then probably move out to those tier 2 towers unless they want to ping some other buildings in here. They got 6 seconds until heroes start coming up, and they're going to move out. There is vision on that column there, so Dire's watching the retreat. Spectre has joined the fray as well. I'm wondering if they're going to group up here. They're going to take that tier 2 mid. They don't have anything that they can really do at this point. A 9k lead now, so things have kind of snowballed out of favor of Dire here. They're going to have a big team fight, maybe catch this Spectre out if they can, but that is going to mean mid will be pressured heavily. Boomyi throwing a fireball on that tower, the Morphling absolutely dumpstering damage on top of this tier 3 mid. An Ice Path comes out, catches the Weaver. Unfortunately for him, he is A-toast as well, and that is a Ursa down. Weaver does time-lapse his way out, but the tier 3 mid is down. He's going to Shikuchi back in, see if he can deal some damage here. He gets Ice Path, unfortunately, right after, towards the end of that Shikuchi. The Tidehunter Ravage misses the Weaver. Oh, that's not what you want. That's alright. Morphling, meanwhile Morphling, all this space that's created, he's space within no space. He can do whatever he wants. Weaver doing everything he can to distract these heroes, trying to pick, and try to bring down one of these heroes. Down goes Eeyore. Didn't have Ravage anymore. So who knows what he would have done here. Now Joseph Stalin in retreat as Weaver is just... he's just dancing around this entire map, doing everything he can to try to kill heroes. He gets a big damage a damage dump onto that Windrunner. He's going to take him down. So this is, I'm surprised they've neutralized that push. I didn't anticipate this. There comes a stun though. The E-Blade is out. He has no more damage. He's going to do his best, and he does fall, dropping the gem of True Sight here. Pudge is also going to go down after picking up that gem. This is where it gets a little dicey. This is 40 minutes. Spectre's got his Manta, his Abyssal, his Treads, his Drum. Yeah, Orchid is up on the Morphling now. So all of a sudden that Weaver is much more difficult to play with that Silence coming out. Spectre's chasing down the Void Spirit. Dr.Wombs is going to eat a few Scythe slaps. And it looks like they're just going to go straight for the throne after they neutralize this Ursa here. Yep, this is curtains. This is GG for the Dire team here. A well-fought battle. They kept it close for a generous portion of this game. We hit that time limit where Spectre and Morphling both get pretty darn big, and there's not a lot that you can do. The big team fight in the Dire jungle there where they lost a bunch of heroes was unfortunate for Dire, but it was, one of those things. Now they're punching the throne. This is it. We got GG. This is going to go down in the way of Radiance, so congratulations to them. Well-fought game for both sides. It has been a pleasure to be joined by all of you at home. See you next time, next Tuesday, for Tuesday Dota with Scrimmed TV.